So I've made a change. One might say a big change. I've switched from Canon to Sony. Dun dun dun! That's how I feel that moment should go. Let's get down to the brass tacks. Why did I move to Sony? Although I've captured some of my favorite shots so far using the Canon 80D, I came to the point where I was looking to upgrade from my setup to something with a little more oomph. Why not upgrade within Canon, I hear you ask? Literally, no one asked that. Well, at the end of the day, moving to Sony was actually slightly more cost effective. Both camera brands came out with incredible cameras over the last 12 months, and I was all geared up to get the Canon R5. But after all the reviews, everyone mentioned the overheating issues the Canon R5 suffered from. And with this being my full-time job, I needed something reliable. I didn't want to have to be worrying if my camera was going to overheat, so Canon kind of shot themselves in the foot. In a way, they kind of pushed me towards Sony. And although I have plenty of Canon glass, all my lenses are EF mounts, and the R5 and C70, another new Canon camera, both have the new RF mounts. So I would have had to buy native RF lenses and an adapter if I wanted to use my current EF lenses. That's a tongue twister. But regardless of Canon versus Sony, here are the reasons why I upgraded at all. Better video spec. The 80D maxes out at 1080p with the highest frame rate being 60 frames per second, whereas the Sonys can shoot 4K up to 120 frames per second and even 240 frames per second at 1080p. It's a lot of numbers. The Sonys are exceptional in low light, dubbed the low light king, meaning your image is less likely to be grainy. Always a plus. Higher dynamic range. The 80D had a whopping 6.75 stops versus the Sony's 14/15 plus stops, meaning there will be a lot more detail captured in the highlights and the shadows. The 80D doesn't have any picture profiles, unlike the Sony cameras which have S-Log3, S-Log2, HLG3, S-Cinetone and loads more to choose from. Let me tell you, the footage is chef's kiss. Both cameras can also shoot RAW. Greater ISO range. The 80D goes from 100 to 16,000 versus the Sony's 80 to 102,400. In-body stabilization and gyro data, making it easier to stabilize in post. Dual memory card slot. They can take SD cards and CFast Type A cards, and 80Ds can only take one standard SD card. Full frame sensors versus an APS-C sensor for a better quality image. And finally, why did I get the FX6 instead of just two A7S IIIs? I wanted to get my hands on my first cinema line camera, and internal ND filters are an absolute game changer. And this is just personal preference, but the A7S III and the FX6 are damn good looking cameras. Overall, I felt they were the right fit for me. Everyone's requirements are going to be different. You might do this as a hobby or professionally. Either way, your needs are going to be different to mine. And after some time with both cameras, I really felt like I'd been using the A7S III my whole life. It just felt intuitive to me. The FX6 definitely has more of a learning curve to it, but it's an incredible camera that I'm excited to get to know more. That's actually what I'm shooting on right now. So that's it. They are the reasons for upgrading and switching. I guess I'm a Sony user now. Never thought I'd say those words. But I'm excited to create some of my best work yet with these two beasts. Please like, share, and hit the bell so you get notified when I post new videos once a year. Until next time, toodles. Oh my god, I used a prompter for that. I hope it looks like I'm looking